how survivors from intensive care describe their situation now, especially if they were told they weren't going to survive. Stay tuned. I've got news for you. My name is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehotline.com with another quick tip for families in intensive care today. So I have an email here from Angela, who is a survivor from ICU, and she was told she's not going to make it. Her family was told she's not going to make it. You know, as we all know, the doom and gloom from intensive care teams is always there. They're always negative, you know, so they can stay in control of the narrative. But as we also know, 90% of intensive care patients approximately survive. So why would intensive care teams be talking about doom and gloom and all the negativity and saying when patients don't survive, when as a matter of fact, they do survive? So let's just hear from a survivor herself. Angela writes, "Hi, Patrick. I was in an induced coma in May and June 2023 for 13 days to try to help with the septic shock. It turned out to be MRSA pneumonia that got to me last year, and it's because I was on a very powerful immunosuppressant medication for rheumatoid arthritis called Xeljanz 11 milligrams. I'm very, very lucky to be alive. The doctors and nurses who finally saw me awake had to stop in and say hi because they really didn't think I was going to survive. They had to use 3 different vasopressors at the same time because my normally low blood pressure of 90/60 doesn't help in the matter. And I, of course, developed dry gangrene. I've only lost 2 toes and half my left thumb, and I consider that a very small price to pay for keeping me alive. Thanks for helping people. You are very appreciated." Well, thank you, Angela, for writing in. You know, I mean, we hear from many families here who say, well, thank you so much for all your videos and thanks for your consulting, for all your advice, because you helped our family member to survive. You know, you helped us to stand up, you helped us to advocate, you know, and it's good to hear from an ICU survivor here as well, who has been told, well, they're not going to make it, you know, and as a matter of fact, they do make it. So it makes you wonder why intensive care teams are negative by default. It is for them to stay in control of the narrative. It is for them to scare you. It is for them to exercise their perceived power so they can do whatever they want, pretty much, you know. And we also have a lot of families coming out, reaching out to us and saying, hey, my loved one died last year in intensive care because we didn't advocate, we didn't stand up, we believed everything the intensive care team was telling us, and now we find out maybe we should have gotten a second opinion. Yes, of course you should have. You know, when you have a loved one critically ill in intensive care, you are in a once-in-a-lifetime situation that you can't afford to get wrong, right? It's very simple. If you take chances, you are taking a gamble, you can't really win. And you don't want to take a gamble when you have a loved one in intensive care. Get a second opinion and get consulting and advocacy. We handhold you literally through this experience, and we make sure you stay 2 steps ahead of the intensive care team, so they don't stay 2 steps ahead of you, you know, so you manage them rather than them managing you. And how do I know all of this? Well, I have worked in critical care for nearly 25 years in 3 different countries, where I worked as a nurse manager for over 5 years in intensive care. And I've been consulting and advocating for families in intensive care all around the world since 2013 here at intensivecarehotline.com. And I can confidently and without any exaggeration say that we have saved many lives with our consulting and advocacy, making sure our clients and their families have a voice when they have a loved one in intensive care. And you can verify that on our testimonial section. If you go to intensivecarehotline.com, have a look at our testimonial section, and also have a look at our podcast section where we have done client and family interviews to verify everything that I'm saying here. And that's also why we created a membership for families of critically ill patients in intensive care at intensivecarehotline.com. If you go on the membership link, if you click on the membership link, you can become a member there. Or if you go to intensivecaresupport.org directly, in the membership, you have access to me and my team 24 hours a day in the membership area and via email. And we answer all your questions that are intensive care related. You also have exclusive access to 21 ebooks and 21 videos that help you to make informed decisions, have peace of mind, control, power, and influence, making sure your loved one gets best care and treatment when they are critically ill in intensive care. I also offer one-on-one consulting and advocacy over the phone, Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, whichever medium works best for you. And I talk to you and your families directly, and I handhold you through this process. I'll make sure you know exactly what to say, how to say it, when to say it, what questions to ask. But I also talk to doctors and nurses directly. And I ask all the questions to the doctors and nurses directly that you haven't even considered asking, but must be asked when you have a loved one critically ill in intensive care. Furthermore, I also represent you in family meetings with intensive care teams. Once again, making sure you ask all the right questions and making sure you're not saying anything that you shouldn't be saying in those meetings either. It's very important to have a strategy. 99.9% of families of critically ill patients in intensive care do not have a strategy, but they desperately need one. We also offer medical record reviews in real time so that you can get a second opinion in real time. We also offer medical record reviews after intensive care if you have unanswered questions, if you need closure, or if you are suspecting medical negligence. And all of that you get at intensivecarehotline.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website or send us an email to support@intensivecarehotline.com. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families in intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, comment below what you want to see next, what questions and insights you have. Share the video with your friends and families. I also do a weekly YouTube live where I answer your questions live on a show. And you get notification for the YouTube live if you are a subscriber of my YouTube channel or if you subscribe to our email newsletter at intensivecarehotline.com. Thank you so much for watching. This is Patrick Hotzel from intensivecarehotline.com, and I will talk to you in a few days. Take care for now.